Here is the Crescendo Music Education Podcast, episode 87. This podcast is being recorded on the lands of the Turrbal people. I acknowledge them as the traditional owners of the land and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. They were the first music makers on this land. Continue our series about music teacher well-being. This next one is a big one. It's about vocal fatigue. I think there's very little I need to say before we get into our chat with Beth Duhon. All I really need to do is remind you that our voice is our livelihood. So let's see what Beth has to say about looking after our voice. Welcome to the Crescendo Music Education Podcast. I have Beth Duhon joining me again. She's feeling like an old friend now. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Debbie.
I would like to get a little bit more into some of the ideas in your book, Happier Music Teacher, and how we as music educators could look after ourselves a little better.
So well said.
So I think the next section is something we have. Oh, look, I think I'd almost say every music teacher I know has had at some point some sort of vocal issues. I've been very lucky lately, though sometimes it doesn't sound quite right, but it's fairly tough these days. But certainly, maybe 20 years ago, I found myself at a speech therapist and my hard glottal attacks, and I had some, not nodules, but they found rough edges, in my vocal folds. And I think we've all been there because it's what our job is like, isn't it?
I don't think I shared this with you, Debbie, but this is recent history for me, and I'm still a little tender about it. So I wrote the book about vocal care, and I feel like I take good care of myself vocally. I follow the tips in the book and the traditional wisdom. Well, long story short, this fall, I was diagnosed with vocal nodes and went to the voice therapist and was on vocal rest for about 2.5 weeks straight. And I was also at a new campus. It was really not cute. So,
did you take time off completely, or did you try to keep teaching?
So it was a little crazy. I went ahead and kept teaching. Luckily, because of the long-term Music 2 substitute, we combined classes. So she was my voice and my discipline, and more videos than I would have normally taught on, and also open a Word doc and just furiously type into it, and all those lots of nonverbals and all those things. Surprisingly, it was kind of okay. I mean, I had a program coming up, and I didn't have days to just take weeks off for that reason. The vocal therapist is amazing. I actually see her in a few days for a recheck, but it is a very real situation.
And is your voice all right now?
I don't know.
It sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can tell. So she assigned me exercises, so I want to get back on them over break. I can also tell when I'm physically tired or after we get off of here that I'll be pretty done vocally. But I think it really was kind of a perfect storm. I had come off of a year of not teaching, so I think I probably wasn't as strong vocally as I would have been, and exhausted, although I was trying to sleep and do all the things, and I had been ill. So it was really one of those perfect storms where it just all collided into a voice problem. So I did not want to be like a walking, living object lesson on vocal care, but there I was.
Oh, okay. Yes. So you've just illustrated our point, really. I think we've all been there to some extent. And I remember my speech therapist telling me that one of the worst things you can do is to switch from singing to speaking constantly. I'm thinking, oh, okay. So, and then actually I made a choice. Well, obviously I used my voice less. I used gesture a lot more. And little oral cues, maybe played or gestured. I won't say make a circle. I will just gesture with my arms and they get up and do it. So there's lots of little tricks like that. And I was heading somewhere and I've forgotten where I'm going, but I was heading somewhere.
Well, I'll jump in with the nonverbals and give you a chance to get it back.
Yeah, please.
I think those nonverbals are powerful.
Yes.
I really, even like I said, even before I would have the occasional vocal trouble, but not major like I did this fall. And, students hear this steady stream of teacher talk all day long. So when you do something that breaks it up, it's actually amazingly effective when you're doing your stand up or sit down symbol or your make a circle symbol instead of telling them. And much better if they break a rule to just silently point to the rule, raise an eyebrow, and it gives them a little more dignity too, because you're not calling out their name, you're not raising your voice at them. I was never big on that anyway, but it just gives everybody a little bit more dignity and also saves your voice.
Yes, I love that. Yes. And also, I did remember where I was going, is to not keep switching from singing to speaking. So if you need to just give a quick instruction, sometimes singing it is actually better if you're going from song to song, which is a bit counterintuitive because you think, oh, it's the singing that's hurting. But apparently when you're switching all the time, it can hurt. But I think singing less, the other thing that I advise people, and I'm sure that you would agree, is to sing for, not with your students. I mean, absolutely. I am still so guilty because if I'm with my grade 2s in a circle, holding hands, playing a game and singing a song, I'm singing it with them because I'm having fun and I'm part of their circle, and I just am so bad at this. I'm telling myself constantly, stop singing. I'm still doing what they're doing, but they're singing without me quite well. They do not need me. Stop singing, Debbie. I tell myself all the time. Obviously, I have to sing to teach them and sing when they're getting to know the game. But once they know it, for goodness sake, stop singing, Debbie.
It's so tempting to do. And I just finally decided, you know what? I'm not your personal jukebox. So I put it real friendly. No singing, no game. If they're not singing, I'm not singing, no game. Oh, that's a bummer. I sure hope you sing so we have a game.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Okay, I might borrow that one. No singing, no game. Yes. It's because it's so tempting, isn't it, to sing with them?
We love to sing. We love to sing, and we're in the moment, and we think it's going to go off the rails if we don't lead every little part with our voice. The other thing is lip syncing. A lot of times if it looks like I want them to see the words on my face, but I don't necessarily have to have any sound coming out, I will become an expert level lip syncer with them.
Yes. Yeah. I hadn't sort of thought about that in the classroom setting. That's a good idea. I have been known occasionally to do it in the choral setting when my choir have not quite got the beginning words of that third verse. Then yeah. I'm good at mouthing the words.
Absolutely.
I love that. Okay. Any other advice around vocal fatigue and looking after your voice?
It feels like I have majored in it this fall, and it is personal, and it's emotional, and it's tough. You get one voice. So some of the people in my music ed Mount Rushmore have had vocal trouble too. So it's not even necessarily that you are doing something bad. It is just a sheer volume of use that you're doing. But make every effort to take care of it because it's your one voice and you don't get another one.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. And we've got to remind ourselves of that. Hydration is important too, isn't it?
Sure is.
Constant sips. I'll just have one right now.
Sounds great.
It really is important to just keep drinking water, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Always. Beth, thank you again for speaking with us about the importance of your voice and looking after your vocal health. We will talk again soon. Bye. As we know, laughter relieves stress. Don't lose sight of the funny side of life. Yesterday, I accidentally swallowed some food colouring. The doctor says I'm okay, but I feel like I've died a little inside. Thank you so much for watching our Crescendo Music Education podcast. For more information about all things crescendo, including membership and music education resources, visit us at crescendo.com.au. Don't forget to like and subscribe